Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to Models and Memories episode 14. Models and Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where I talk about my painting, modeling, and wargaming experiences from the week, and I end every episode with a story. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 YouTube videos a week and live stream every single night. How could you possibly have more to say? Well, I do, and here goes. This week, I got a little bit of personal painting done. I got this lovely miniature from Wargames Exclusive. It is their version of Helbrecht, and I'm so excited to have it because I've never had a Helbrecht model. And that's craziness because I'm a Black Templar player. I have 10,000 points of Black Templar. How could I not have this model? Well, it's because Games Workshop's version sucks. It's okay. It's an okay model from the waist up, but it suffers really badly from the squatty Marines. It has little like 5-year-old boy legs. It's a ridiculous looking model and I've never ever quite been able to spend like the $35 to buy it. It's also like this big because it's old resin fine cast. But this model is legit. This is Helbrecht or whatever they call him. But this is the model that I'm probably gonna bring in every single game of Warhammer with my Black Templar. And so I'm super, super excited to get it painted up. I actually got to try out a brand new paint, Games Workshop's Rune Lord Brass. This is a new color that came out with the Indominus Necrons, and if you actually look, they repainted a lot of the old Necrons to use this paint. It's kind of, it's brass. It's a little bit gold, it's a little bit silver, and I really, really like it. I think this is gonna be a great base color for Helbrecht because he's always had kind of gold, like dark gold armor, and so I really think that this is gonna look snazzy. Right now, it's just this and a wash, but I'm gonna be doing some dry brushing and some further highlights. But really what I worked on this week was I painted his lovely scenic base. I absolutely love this base because he's standing on an orc that he's just chopped in half. And if you notice, my orc is a little different than a normal orc. My orc is blue, and that is because my opponent that this force is gonna be fighting all the time is probably going to be Nick, and Nick paints his orcs blue. And so I think it is going to be hilarious that my Helbrecht, the captain of my army, the marshal of my army, is going to be forever standing upon Nick's blue orc army. I think that is wonderful. And you know what? It was really fun to paint a blue orc. It's not easy. I feel the pain, but it was really, really fun to do. And I love scenic bases. They really, really do add a fun element to miniatures. One thing I tried on this guy that I don't usually do is I tried gore. He had some guts hanging out, and I actually did green stuff, an extra little doodad hanging down. And I really went nuts with the Games Workshop's Blood for the Blood God, their technical paint. Usually I try to steer clear of gore. I always thought it was like a little bit like childish or a little bit like I didn't understand the message it was sending. Like if you're really, like if it's splattered with paint, like some people would probably think like, hell yeah. And some people would probably think like, all right then, what are we doing here? But I think it looks okay on this model. I think the red looks great next to the blue. But I don't know how I feel about like gore on miniatures. I think I probably wouldn't do it often, but here, it called for it. What am I gonna do? He's got dry guts hanging out. That wouldn't be the look. So I think I'm okay with it on this model, but I don't think I'm gonna be putting a lot of gore on very many of my miniatures. It's not the look that I like. Although please let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on gore? Do you just slather on Blood for the Blood Gods over the entire model? Or do you keep it do you try to keep it tasteful? Whatever that means. Do you try to keep the blood and guts down? I could see, little Timmy looking at the game and at the local game store and he's like, oh, look at the pretty orcs and the cool models. And then the mom comes and looks and just sees maybe not. It's a little bit like boobage. Should there be boobage on models? Should there not be? It's a delicate balance. It's a wonderful tightrope we walk as miniature painters and collectors. But I am super pumped to have Helbrecht lead my force, a proper Primaris-sized Helbrecht that is standing in all of his glory. I also painted the cape red, and I didn't realize because I didn't look at source material when I started, but the back of the cape should be black. So I'm gonna have to re-airbrush this. But the inside is red, I got that much right, but very excited about Helbrecht. But really, what is the point of even talking about this for a minute? Warhammer Plus. Warhammer Plus came out and holy moly. When this dropped, I talked about it a few weeks ago when they first announced it, and it sounded like it was going to be a place for Warhammer shows. You subscribe to Warhammer Plus, the streaming service, you get the Warhammer shows. Easy transaction. But now they've released the full plethora of what this is gonna come with, and it blew me away. And not really in a good way. Warhammer Plus, more Warhammer, more often. It comes with a whole bunch of stuff, but the tricky thing is it comes with a whole bunch of little tiny packages. It's very odd. So it is going to come out with the animations, of course, but not as many as you'd want. Like, they showed off a lot of shows. They're only gonna have 2 ready on launch day, and they're gonna do the Netflix thing or the Amazon Plus thing where they're gonna release the weekly episodes weekly, drip feed us a little bit, which I understand, because it makes the shows last longer. Like, if we could binge them all day one, we would. But I get the drip feeding, but it's not as much fun as, sitting down with a bowl of popcorn and watching the whole entire Space Marine show or whatever it's gonna be. But, so not that many animations, but then we finally get to the bottom of what this exclusive miniatures is gonna be. And this is what got me going. So they're offering, if you buy the yearly subscription, you're gonna get a free mini, and you're gonna get the opportunity to buy an exclusive mini. And the way this works is that they have a 40K mini and an Age of Sigmar mini. And so, if you play Age of Sigmar, you can buy the Age of Sigmar, or you can get the Age of Sigmar mini with your subscription, and then you have the opportunity to buy the 40K mini if you want. And here's the problem. The 40K mini is so awesome. It is badass. It is a sniper inside of a dilapidated statue. It blows me away because it's a diorama. Games Workshop doesn't make dioramas, but here is Games Workshop making a diorama. I want it really bad. It's super cool. I can't wait to see it get out into the world and all the painters get a crack at it, and then they get to see it in all of its glory and everything it can be. And honestly, even the Games Workshop paint job is pretty sick. This model is outstanding, and it makes me think that if Games Workshop put out dioramas, I'd just buy a few to paint. They are really, really cool. And unfortunately, that brings me to the Age of Sigmar model. It's just an Orc War Boss. There's nothing special about it. I think I prefer the current Orc War Boss you can buy. It's fine. It's tricky. They're not proportional models. The 40K model is a Vindicar assassin. It's the sniper assassin in a clock tower. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's super cool. Everyone's gonna want this model. It's just a regular orc, is the other Age of Sigmar model. It's not that interesting. It's not that cool. It looks basically the same as the one that exists now, but the one that exists now has the really cool T-Rex skull on his shoulder, which is kind of more personality and more interesting than this model. So I kind of do feel like the assassin model is gonna sell the whole shebang, this whole thing. Cause like this model, the Vindicar assassins are all like $35 a piece. So that's more than half of your subscription right there. If you'd assume that this model, and this model is on a giant base, it's probably worth a little more. The orc is not gonna sell this whole thing. I think if you want to get into Warhammer Plus and you play Age of Sigmar, here's what you do. Get the sniper guy for free with your subscription, get him with your subscription, and then eBay him and get yourself something nice. That's how you do it if you're an Age of Sigmar player, because this orc, it's whatever. It's just an orc. It's not a diorama. If they had done a diorama, if a 40K diorama and an Age of Sigmar diorama, that would have been incredible. It would have been like, I don't know which one I want to get with my subscription, and I better just go ahead and buy the other model because I need them both. They're cool. They're gonna be fun painting projects. And the interesting thing with this whole subscription service is this is aimed at people who already are hardcore into the hobby. And dioramas would be a really, really cool thing to offer to those people. If you're already in, you're invested, you've been doing this for years, you've got tons of models, tons of paint, dioramas would be a really cool thing to flex your hobby abilities on. So I absolutely adore the sniper assassin. Don't care about the orc, who cares? No one cares. Leave a comment if you think the orc is better than the sniper, because you're wrong. Then they're gonna offer a few other things. The Citadel Color Masterclass, so a little bit better tutorials than the current ones they put out for free online. I feel like I'm already moving past the Games Workshop painting methods. And, as gorgeous as some of the Citadel miniatures are, I feel like I get it. Like, it's just the regular base coat wash highlight pushed a lot further. I mean, it's not like they're gonna have airbrushing tutorials, because Games Workshop doesn't sell an airbrush. They're probably not gonna do a lot of dry brushing, because Games Workshop doesn't really sell dry brushes. They call their flat bristle brushes dry brushes, they're not dry brushes. So, there you can get access to some tutorials that are a little better than the tutorials they already give you for free. But they're gonna have another show called Lore Masters. Now, Lore Masters does pique my interest a little. I love listening to lore channels on YouTube. I think a lot of them do a great job. Some of my absolute favorites are Luton09. Baldemort's Guide to Warhammer is amazing, and I'm starting to really like Major Kill. He can be a lot of fun. I really, really like listening to lore on YouTube. What I hope from Warhammer Plus's Warhammer Lore Masters is like maybe some more broad strokes. Like, how do you describe 40K or Age of Sigmar to people? I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, there's the grim darkness of the far future. There's a planet called Terra. There's other aliens, and they're kind of at war with some of them. And there's the Tyrannid. Like, if they could figure out a great way to describe Warhammer so that you can take that and use that as ammunition to get other folks into it, I think that would be cool. It'd be great if Lore Masters turns out to be great, because then beginners can't see it because it's behind the paywall of Warhammer Plus. But Lore Masters, I'm interested in, and it'll be very interesting to see what they do with it. But it'll probably just be what's out there. And then they're gonna be doing battle reports. Battle reports, those things that you can watch on YouTube for free, you're gonna be able to get those with the subscription service. And it's hard to say. I don't like battle reports. A lot of people do like battle reports. I think they're boring. I have trouble following a game of 40K when I'm the one playing it, so it's impossible for me to understand what's being rolled for or what needs to happen when I'm trying to keep track of what two different armies are doing. So this isn't really content I'm interested in. I'm just more interested in what they're gonna do with it, because it's probably not gonna be like cool people's armies. That's the only reason I ever click on a battle report, is to see like, oh, I wanna see that person's corn army. That looks neat. But this is probably just gonna be with the studio miniatures that Games Workshop has, so we'll see, but who cares? Again, it's another little tiny nugget. It's the breadcrumbs leading me to maybe subscribe. And then you get the app, which I don't use the app. I love Battlescribe because it's free and awesome. And I believe this is the app where you have to own the codex to unlock the information on the app, which is hot trash. But yeah, I'm probably gonna continue to use Battlescribe because it's free and awesome to put together all of my army lists. It's content. Again, another little nugget. It's more content, but I don't think it's content I care about. But I mean, I guess the app is like $2-3, so that's already half of what this subscription costs. And then the next nugget is Warhammer Vault. And this is gonna be, they're gonna have some stuff from some of their old books available, that's kind of nice. The one thing that they do say is that they're going to have the Gathering Storm books, which actually I am really excited about. I have really been wanting to read the Gathering Storm books because I want to be very up to date on the lore. And they're going for a lot of money on eBay. I haven't been able to fork up the dough, but if I can get them here, I'll read them. I'll read Gathering Storm, and that is content that I would like. I don't know how many other people want it. I don't know how many people care. I mean, it seems like the 40K books, they diminish rapidly in value. It would have been really cool if you could actually get all of the old codexes, but it does not look like that's gonna be the case. It's just some of the army books and some of the supplemental book materials. It would have been really cool if you could get access to the audiobooks. I would be so down. I would subscribe to that even without the models and stuff, because I love the audiobooks. I've been cranking through them. But yeah, a couple of books. And this one, when I saw the White Dwarves, they're gonna be offering White Dwarves with this. And when I saw it, I'm like, ooh, this is, you know what? I'm down. I've never read a White Dwarf, but if I had access to every White Dwarf ever made for $6, that's a deal. They're only offering you 1 year of White Dwarfs. They're gonna digitize and make available the White Dwarfs from 2020. That's fine, whatever. I'll take a look at some white dwarfs and see what they are, but you know, it would have been really cool to be like, what were white dwarfs like in, you know, 2008? What did Warhammer look like back then in the dark ages of 40K when they were still keep tight-lipped and no YouTube channel? But events, no one cares about the live events. Yeah, apparently you're gonna get some VIP stuff if you go to Warhammer events. No one goes. I mean, like 0.2% of Warhammer players go. I mean, who has access to it? No one does. It is silliness. It is bizarre. And here's the thing about Warhammer Plus. After all of that spiel, it's fine. It's like, it's just whatever. You get access to a couple of animations, some YouTube videos that probably should have just been on YouTube, a lore series that we'll see what happens with that, and really, it comes down to, do you want the free model or not? That's really what the subscription service is about, because a Warhammer model can cost $60. That's what this costs for a year subscription. If you get the subscription as a year, it's $60. That's what a nice model from Games Workshop costs. That's what a squad of assault intercessors costs. So I could see someone being like, you know, if it comes with a model, that already pays for the subscription. But here's the dirty little thing about that. You don't get your cool mini until a year has passed. They're gonna start shipping out these models at the next anniversary of this thing becoming live. If you're buying it for the model, you're gonna be waiting a long time on that model. I mean, again, I think the reason that they do that is just so that, you don't sign up and then the day that model arrives at your doorstep, cancel your subscription. Because that's probably what I would do. They're gonna keep you on the hook for the year if you want to get your cool model. And, it opens the door to what is the next model gonna look like? Is that gonna be the thing that keeps people re-upping? Is there gonna be like, the next model is a Sister of Battle and a Stormcast Eternal, and if you don't care about those two models, which a good chunk of people aren't going to, is everyone gonna stop subscribing? It's a very weird thing. I don't see this as a must buy. There's nothing in it that really gets me going. If this was a subscription to the audiobooks, 100% would love it. I think tons of people would go for that because, the books are kind of annoying or hard to get, or just, who reads a book? But a lot of people I know really get into the audiobooks, and they're fun. I like them a lot. If this was the audiobooks, instant buy, but it's just it feels like a YouTube channel and a website's worth of content behind a Netflix subscription. It's very bizarre. It's very weird. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see what people's reaction is gonna be. Because this is like an hour after this page has gone live. I assume some people are gonna be pretty angry that it's kind of just a whatever subscription. I think a lot of people are gonna be very kind of wishy-washy on it. And there's gonna be some hardcore Warhammer people who are just like, yeah, this is enough content for me to put $6 towards every week. Who cares? Or every month. So unfortunately, it's not knocking my socks off. The sniper model is super cool and I really want it. And holy cow, the scalping that's gonna go down with that model. Come a year's time when people are now gonna be paying $100, $120 for the privilege of purchasing that model without having given Games Workshop $6 a month for the last 12 months. And there's a kind of a suspect thing with if you are already subscribed to the app, you can upgrade to a Warhammer Plus account and you're gonna get your mini 3 months early. So I wonder, can I, on the day before launch, can I subscribe to Warhammer app and then on launch day upgrade my account to be a Warhammer Plus account and then get my model 3 months early? That'll be a very interesting experiment. But wow, Warhammer Plus. Who would have thought? It's kind of whatever. It's kind of like they were announcing they're gonna start a YouTube channel behind a paywall. It's kind of bizarre, but I'm assuming that they don't have a lot of faith in their shows like the Lore Masters and the Battle Reports because they haven't shown off anything of that. Like not even the hosts. Like why not have a moment of the host being like, hi, I'm Mike, and I really like 40K, and here's what I'm gonna bring to you. Nothing like that. A picture of the word Lore Masters. Who, what is that? It does not seem like they're really in love with these shows. But boy oh boy, is that what happened this week. I know for sure though that I will become a subscriber to Warhammer Plus, and if you become a Patreon supporter of us, you may not need to be a Warhammer Plus subscriber, because we may or may not be doing some review shows of some of the content available on this subscription service. And in general, if you like us and you like the videos that we put out, the best way to support us is by becoming a member of our Patreon. Over there, you'll get access to some behind the scenes, voting on what models I paint live on YouTube, a hobby hangout live stream every week, and more. But I painted Helbrecht, I saw the new release for Warhammer Plus, and so it is time now to end this episode with a story. Now this show is called Models and Memories Weekly, and that is because of the memories associated with the models. I'm often holding a miniature and I am drawn back to what I was doing and thinking when I acquired, painted, or collected that miniature. And as you can see, there are many objects behind me on my YouTube set, and all of them contain a memory. And this week I will talk about these. These MDF wood kits you see in front of me are by Tabletop Scenics, and they are lovely. I really like them a lot. This one was kind of fun to make. I think I built this in probably 4 hours. It wasn't the worst, but this one here was the worst. So here's the thing about MDF kits, and please let me know in the comments if you love MDF kits or not, because I really liked MDF kits. I bought some simple ones on Etsy and I really enjoyed putting those together. They went together simply, they were quick, they looked all right. And so I went out and I bought these, and these weren't that cheap. I remember I bought a whole bunch of them because there was a pretty good sale going on, but they're not cheap and they're horrible to put together, really. I mean, you know, this one was all right. This one is not done. I worked on this thing for weeks and then gave up because why would you make this out of wood? I mean, this, I don't care if it breaks. There we go. This is hundreds of pieces. This kit is thousands of parts in total. This is very 3D printable. And so this is kind of why I haven't built the other two. And this is kind of giving me an idea of what MDF kits are for, because I feel like we were all kind of led to believe that, oh, do you want a table full of terrain? Well, a cheap, easy way to do that is to get an MDF kit. And I think that is incorrect. I think MDF kits are a kind of pricey, very, very difficult way to get yourself a table full of terrain. This isn't even finished. I have another one of these in box, and I almost want to do a video called Building the Worst Model I Ever Made or something, because it really is horrible to put this all together. I mean, everything, it's thousands and thousands of parts, and you put it together with super glue and a little bit of wood glue. It looks nice, but I could get something else that looks nice for similar money. So I think if you're someone who really loves intricate kits that you're gonna really lavish some time into, I think these are excellent, excellent choices, because you're gonna pour some hours into these. If you really, really enjoy building, I think these are for you, because they're hard to make, and they're very intricate, and they're very particular. You know, a couple hundred page instruction booklet. But if you are someone who's like, I want to get some games in, I want some nice terrain, I want a table full of nice terrain, so I'm gonna go buy it, go on Etsy and find some 3D printed stuff, because it'll look pretty darn good, just like these look pretty darn good. It'll come all built, ready for you to paint it. Just get yourself some spray cans. I don't think these have solved my problems. I'll definitely build the other church, because they're not too bad. And this one is kind of fun with, it's modular, so I can take it apart, and it can become like some short buildings. This one is just a block. I mean, yeah, I have the rest of the sprues. I don't know if I have the instructions anymore, but I'll do something to finish this off, but I don't think I'm gonna build the rest of this kit. And unless I do a video on it, I'm just gonna sell the other kit. I don't wanna, I mean, I wish I could impart to you the task of putting this together was. It was, you know, I whipped this up in a day and I thought, okay, fine, that was all right. This one is a monster. It really was not that much fun to put together. And I mean, I built these as good as I could have. You know, lots of sanding, lots of gluing, and they're kind of wrong, because of course they are. They're wood. Like, why would you have two interconnecting pipes made out of wood? I mean, I've seen some really clever people do some stuff where you use a soda can to kind of build out the shapes. You know, you use just common items. PVC, you can get PVC in different sizes. Just sell a couple of, you know, inches of PVC pipe in this kit. The tube of this could have been PVC. Really, I think the person who's gonna make a fortune is the person who can make a hybrid kit where the body of it is all made of 3D printing, and then you just add wooden decorations on top of it. I think that would be a much better, it would use the best of both worlds. It would give you the intricate detailing that wood can give you, but it would also give you the structure and the ease of 3D printing. So, yeah. Sorry, Tabletop Scenics. This kit is a bummer, but I kind of do like your Hive Chapel City. But that is the emotions that these bring out of me, is this is a butt to build. It really is pretty miserable. So on the shelf, it will live until I do something to finish it. Maybe I'll make it a burnt up building. It'll burn nice, it's made of wood. But yeah, I don't know if, I've bought a bunch of terrain before putting these together. I think that says a lot about these kits. I own nice terrain, and I bought more nice terrain instead of working on this. So those are my memories from this model. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts on MDF terrain is, because for me, a little bit of a thumbs down, gotta say. But that brings this episode of Models and Memories to a close. This is the 14th episode. I am shocked that I have been able to keep this series going. I've been having a lot of fun. It's really helped me get more things finished per week. It helps me talk and think about the way I produce videos and content. It really has been a really, really fun show, and we're gonna keep it going. There's still a little gas in the tank in this series, but I really, really enjoy this series. Thanks for watching it. And now it's time for this week's EOB Complete submissions. We put out a challenge to our community to send us before and after photos of their recently finished models to be immortalized in our videos. If you want to join in the fun, you can submit a before and after photo of your painted mini to our Discord server, which you can find in the description below, or you can post it to Instagram with the hashtag EOBComplete. Without further ado, let's look at and get inspired by what the folks have finished this week. A Space Marine Captain by Capcan, an Unlucky Infantryman by Just Make Stuff, a Death Corp of Krieg by Heesne, a Grey Knight Terminator by Vega Wusky, a Primaris Ancient by Disco, a Primaris Captain by Stinky Pete, a Spearman by Cheap Maddie Light, a Tau XV-88 Broadside Battlesuit by I Quit SC for This, a Battle Sister by Dark Lord Bowdish, an Airplane by Sexy Ka, some Tau by Frog, a Chapter Champion by Huntron, a Green Cult Magos by Coec 15324, a Necron Chronomancer by Civilian Waffles, an Imperial Knight by Plumpen, a Deathwatch Space Marine by Master Builder 75, a Grey Knight by Gilgamesh, a King of Hell by OG JT Money, a Death Company Chaplain by Unity, a Tau Cadre Fireblade by Duplacorn, a Renegade Voxcaster by Prussian Blue, a Beach Babe by Andi Crimson, a Primaris Chaplain by Bluevin Cheese, a Display Board by RM Creations, a Tech Priest Engineer by Grayscale, a Sister of Krieg by Kevin Taz, a Tau Surgeon by Visk, an Infinity Soldier by Sir Knight Jones, a Gretchen by It's Tabby Time, a Primaris Judicar by Vestral, a Pious Vorn by Cold Shower, a Marvel United Moon Knight by Thomas, and an Ultramarine by Zero. Congratulations to everyone for a job well done. It's no small feat to get paint on a mini, and you all should feel really proud. Nothing gets the hobby juices flowing like finishing a project, and we all thank you for sharing your work, motivating us and the hobby community to paint our plastic. Thanks for sharing.